If your cold outbound system at the moment sounds a little bit like mine used to be, where it was spray and pray and we'd reach out to as many people as humanly possible, the volume was really high, and you're still not getting those conversions, so those people who are coming from cold and they're not converting into a client, there's a few key changes which has enabled us to go and really reduce that and actually make sure people, A, show up to the call, B, they trust you before the call, and C, actually convert when you do have a call or whatever your sales mechanism is. So on reflection, looking back, I used to have 10 appointment setters, and they would be doing things like cold calls. They would be doing mass email marketing campaigns, so really high volume, and they'd be doing DMs as well. And what they would be doing is actually booking sales calls for me to actually go and take that sales call with the person. So ultimately, not only was it a nightmare to manage, the conversion rate was pretty low, all things considered, because the volume of meetings was coming in, but the conversion rate was low. And also there was just so many no-shows, it was ridiculous. I believe the main problem here was that trust element. So the prospect coming from cold traffic has no idea who we are, what we do, what the outcome is, etc., etc. Even if they were to have a call with us, they didn't trust us because they'd never seen us before. So what I'm going to be walking you through in this video is specifically about the trust element and why it's so important to actually build that trust before you have a sales call or before you have some sort of sales mechanism in place with the prospect. And this system, by the way, generates 3 to 5 high qualified leads on a weekly basis. So people who have actually got buying intent to actually go and work with you and buy your product or service. So just to explain what we used to do, we used to have appointment setters, and here's a screenshot of everyone on a catch-up call where we'd be discussing the pipeline and sort of, how many meetings people have booked in, where people are at certain stages, and then ultimately we'd be talking about a lot of no-shows and all these follow-ups where people where the clients weren't converting, and it was a nightmare not only to manage the appointment setters, but the results were just not there for the amount of volume that we were actually doing. Yeah, we did get closers and there was clients coming in, but just in terms of the ratio of outreach and the ratio of input in terms of cold calls, cold emails, etc., compared to the clients that were coming out the other end was just far too low. And obviously we're not doing that anymore. And also we used to run cold email marketing campaigns in the back end, and we would have the classic, crazy guarantee, which would just generate a low meeting rate. And with the cold emails as well, you've seen this before, and you've probably done this before to go and try and generate meetings with potential clients. And basically you've got your lead list and you're reaching out to people with multiple inboxes via email, and you're expecting the dollar signs to be rolling in the back end. Now 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 that might work. You've got some sort of crazy guarantee in an email to try and capture someone's attention. And a couple of years ago this actually used to work. You would just have a crazy guarantee in place, and you would say, I will offer you X, Y, and Z in X amount of time, or you get a refund and blah, blah, blah. And not only did that used to actually bring in bad clients, because the dynamic was all off, because if you're going to work with someone where they're only in it for that guarantee, they've got no skin in the game, and we didn't really work together well with the client because you've got a crazy guarantee in place, they've got no skin in the game, they don't really care if it works or not, obviously you're taking all the risk. So we've scrapped that as well. But going back to the cold email, if you're just pulling a random list from God knows where, like Apollo or Lusher or whatever, someone's told you to go and find this lead list and then just basically spray and pray and reach out to as many people as possible, it will book you meetings. Like, it will generally book you meetings, 1 to 3% reply rate depending on how many inboxes you've got set up and what the size of the lead list is. It will get you meetings, and it may get you some clients coming out the other end, but I'm going to show you a much better way. And just to tie that up as well, so you would have a low meeting rate, a low show rate. So a lot of the time, if someone's actually being booked from a cold call, the person on the cold call, we found that they would just book in a time just to get the person off the phone. Maybe we didn't have the right system set up, but you would get a low show rate as well. And we had automations, SMS reminders. We would have email reminders for them to show up. We would even, text and email them before the call, but just generally, like, by the sounds of it, they just wanted to get them off the phone. And ultimately, with a crazy guarantee, I don't know about you, but if I receive a guarantee from someone reaching out on a DM or some sort of email, or if someone cold called me and offered me this crazy guarantee, that has been burnt by so many people in the past people have been burnt by so many people in the past offering a crazy guarantee where they would just use that to get their foot in the door, and then, the actual fulfillment of the service was terrible. So people are a lot more skeptical, and me included. So if someone reaches out with a crazy guarantee, I just ignore it and just move on. And also, if you're having a team of appointment setters, whether it's cold callers, whether it's people doing DMs, it is a nightmare to manage. Like, you've got to make sure that you're giving them leads to go after. You've got your system set up in place. But with this system that I'm going to walk you through, you just need one person and potentially just someone else helping you with the fulfillment of actually going out and doing this. So what I'm talking about is doing cold outreach, where what we're speaking about is building that trust element before you've actually had a call or whatever your sales mechanism is, before you've actually spoken to the prospect, essentially. So typically you would have a lead list of your ideal customer profile. And what we get our clients to do, especially when I'm coaching people on how to do lead generation, if they've got a small team, it's sort of 1 to 5 people within their team, or 1 to 3, or even if it's a solo operator with just one VA, typically what we do is go and define that ICP. So who is your ideal customer profile? Yes, there might be a couple of thousand people in there, but from that list, we go and find the hit 100. So these are your dream clients, and we'll pinpoint exactly who we want to reach out to. And not only are you going to want to spend a little bit more effort reaching out to these people, we've got ways to figure out, okay, what sort of buying signals are they signaling at the moment, which enables you to actually put your foot in the door, because they're probably going to have a call with you based on X, Y, and Z. For example, if that individual from your Dream 100 list is just hiring for a certain job role. So if you're a graphic designer and this person from your Dream 100 list is hiring for an internal graphic designer, then boom, that's the perfect opportunity for you to go and reach out to this person, and they're in your Dream 100 list. Anyway, I digress. But the key thing here, which is what I'm talking about in this video, is building the trust before that person has even had a call with you, which would be somewhere over here. So what we do is we send personalized videos to each and every single one of these prospects, especially in your Dream 100 list, because it requires a little bit more effort. So you'd be using a tool like Loom or some sort of recording software, where you're going to basically explain to them who you are, why they should trust you. So obviously your social proof, and what the problems that that they're facing at the moment, and what are the outcomes from them working with you, very concisely in about 3 to 5 minutes. So not only does this reduce the barrier of someone, so with your Dream 100 list, for them at the moment to speak to you, they've got to actually take out, maybe 30 minutes out of their day, plus the extra sort of 5 minutes where you've got to go back and forth to go and book a sales call with them and actually get them on a call. Whereas what we're doing right now here, which is working really well, it books 3 to 5 high quality meetings on a weekly basis. We send them a video which is 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, they can watch this video when they're having their lunch, or waiting to pick their kids up from school, whatever it is. You send them this video, and you've already built up that trust with the prospect before they've even committed to even discussing about payment or sort of how you work, etc. So you're explaining who you are and why they should trust you, and then you can discuss whether you should go on to the next stage. Now, this next stage could either be a sales call, it could either be you sending them an offer document, which has got basically your price, how you work, etc., your case studies, or it could be they want some. So once you've sent them this first video, they may want some more information, where you could send them another Loom video where it's more of a detailed case study video. So it could be countless times I've actually sent someone a video like this, where it's a very quick 3-minute video, and then they've said, cool, that sounds great, can you send me some more info? So these Dream 100 people, I've actually gone and sent them another video. So I'm not asking them for a sales call or whatever. I'm sending them a little bit more of a longer video, which is detailing exactly a client case study who is in, if not the same niche or a similar niche as this person. So I'm going through and walking through step by step what I actually did with a previous client of mine, where we got them some great results. So that is killer as well, because you're probably going to explain that on the sales call anyway. So if you can just nail that down in another 5-minute video, they're way more likely to be able to trust you and actually move forward, whatever the next stage of your sales process is going to be. So that's the important thing, and that's why I've tweaked things in terms of not just doing this sort of spray and pray outreach, where people just think you're they treat you like the scum of the earth, especially if you've got some sort of crazy guarantee where you've read Alex Hormozy's $100 million offers book, and you're just saying that I'm going to offer you a Lambo if we don't generate you an extra 300k in like 2 months. Like it's crazy. People are turned off by that at this stage in the game. That used to work a couple of years ago, but now stuff like this where you put a little bit more effort in upfront, and especially putting that effort in upfront with your Dream 100 clients. Like if you can't set aside just a little bit of time to actually go and do this each and every single week, then you're going to end up working with those people where you probably might have to offer them a guarantee or whatever else that you're doing, or you've got to wait for people to come to you. So this has been proactive. You spend a little bit more time to actually go and create a video like this, so that you build up the trust, and then maybe you do another video call with them, or you send them another video afterwards, and then that's when they can start discussing to actually come on board with you and actually start working with you. So why I've put smart automation here and human touch is because what we do for one of our systems called the outbound engine is we use smart automation to go and really speed things up. So you've created your ideal customer profile, and yes, there might be 3,000 people in there or 1,000 people in there. And once we've created our Dream 100 list of people for this campaign in particular, we would use automation to actually go and do the heavy lifting at the start. So what I mean by that is basically reaching out to people softly with just one question, just to get that ball rolling and get the first question out the door, so you're not having to spend hours and hours connecting with people if you're using LinkedIn, or following people if you're using Instagram, and then sending that first 1 or 2 messages. We automate that whole process, so then the only thing you need to spend time on is actually going creating this video. And then smart automation as well, so you can either do this manually in terms of following up with prospects, or you can have automations like using mate.com, or you would literally just hire a VA to go and help you do the follow-ups. But the important thing here is, if you've spent time creating a video like this, 3 to 5 minutes, it's personalized, you're explaining everything, how you work, and it's customized to them, you need to make sure that you're following up. And in my experience, this books way more meetings when you're actually following up with people on different platforms. For example, if your Dream 100 client is pretty active on email, you should be sending the video as well, if they haven't read it or seen it or viewed it, on LinkedIn. And then if they haven't seen it on LinkedIn, follow up on Instagram. If they haven't seen it on Instagram, follow up on Facebook. Whatever you've got to do to make sure that that person sees this video that you've created, you need to get them to actually go and view it in the first place. And having a good follow-up system in place where you can actually, whatever you want to do, you could call them. You could literally call them and say, hey, it's your foot in the door, and you could actually say, have you watched that video that I've recorded for you? So again, with the follow-ups, you're not putting massive amounts of pressure on it. And with the law of reciprocity, when you actually go and say, hey, I've recorded something personalized for you, they're way more inclined, the prospect is way more inclined to see it. And if anything, it's just curious, because I know for me, I get Loom videos quite often, and I always watch them. Whereas I get loads of cold emails from people where, it's just black and white text. It's just a classic, someone's offering me a guarantee or whatever it may be. I just bin that email. It's going unread. It's going straight in the bin. But if I can see that someone's actually created a personalized video, then perfect. Well, I'll go and watch it. I'll at least go and entertain it. And if you've got a good system where, okay, if I've seen that in my inbox and I haven't actually had time to go and view it, but then someone follows up with me on Instagram and sends me that video, and I'm just chilling at night and I'm watching TV or whatever I'm doing, then I'll click on the video and watch it. So it's the same with your prospects. Obviously, it's different for different niches. If you're going after the larger companies, you're probably going to be sticking to, email and then potentially LinkedIn. But if you're targeting sort of small businesses or small to medium-sized businesses, you can probably find their Instagram or other sort of social media platforms to actually go and reach out to them. So if you've got a good system in place and you get smart automation to do the heavy lifting, that is going to help you book way more consistent meetings. And instead of having to rely on this spray and pray outreach approach where you've got to buy all this infrastructure, where you've got to buy emails and domains and setup, and then you're wondering why the volume's not even getting any qualified meetings. And then if you do have a meeting, the meeting's terrible and they don't trust you and they don't move forward, it's probably because they don't trust you. So going back to the point of this video is that trust element there. If you can bridge that gap with potential prospects, you are going to get a much higher meeting rate, and people are going to trust you, and a much higher close rate to go and bring on more clients for your business. And if you do want some help setting up something like this, and you just want a bit more clarity in terms of actually how this might pan out for you, and this is just one system that we use for all of our clients, then follow the instructions in the description below and you can have a chat with me, and then we can look to see how we might be able to help you. I will see you on the next one. Peace.